Hey guys, is financial independence or financial freedom a goal that you currently have in your life? Now, I was on a podcast recently and they asked me this question that I thought was very interesting, and I wanted to share it and respond in a bit more detail so you can learn from it as well. So the question says, the financial independence retire early movement exploded in the last decade. But in the last few years, we've had higher inflation, rising housing costs, and rapid AI disruption. How has the pursuit of financial independence or financial freedom evolved, and what does the new reality demand from people? Now, I wanted to just spend a few moments just talking about that. Now, for some context, a lot of our work has been centered on just helping people prepare for financial independence or, optional early retirement in the future. And the reason for that is my wife and I, Mary and I, went on our own journey. When we met in 2009, we met with the goal of trying to become financially independent. We focused on achieving that goal ourselves, and we did so by our mid-30s. And a big part of our journey was also trying to pay off our mortgage, which we achieved in 7 years. And we did it while raising 2 children. Now, that's important because a lot of people who start from very small beginnings never really expect to achieve financial independence. And it's such a big goal for people that, as this question mentioned, a lot has happened over the last few years. That means that a lot of people might feel it's a lot harder for them with the cost of living and rising costs and so on to actually focus on achieving this goal. Now, I want to just reflect on this question because, when I think about this question is, what does the new reality of financial independence and retire early movement, so the FIRE movement, what does that new reality demand from people? When I think about that, I think that financial independence is more important than ever, particularly as we enter a world of very deep uncertainty. This question mentioned AI upheavals. There's a lot that's happening with jobs, there's a lot that's happening with careers, a lot that's happening with life more generally. But I want to just take a step back first. I want to go back to a very important moment that was a defining moment for all of us around the world. And that moment was in 2020 when we had COVID. When I reflect on the financial independence kind of movement and that sort of thing, COVID was a big reset for people. It was certainly for me and my family. Because in 2020, as you will remember, a lot of us there asking quite deep questions like, what is the meaning of life? What do we truly want from our lives? As we were all kind of locked down and reflecting on, what was happening around the world. The world felt very uncertain at that stage of life. Sorry, it's very windy, by the way. That's why I keep wiping my eyes. It's very windy. You might not notice it in the sound. But a lot of us kept asking this question because we didn't know what the future might look like. And I remember thinking back then to myself, thinking, wow, during this time where we're all grounded, a lot of us didn't have jobs, a lot of us who had jobs got made redundant and so on. Some people were lucky enough to get furloughed. A lot of people didn't get furloughed. I didn't get furloughed. My wife didn't get furloughed. So had Mary and I not worked on becoming financially independent over the years before that, building up to that big event in all our lives, we would have struggled. But we were able to come through that phase successfully because we'd worked on preparing for events like that by focusing on financial independence, right? And I'll come to what this might mean for you gradually, because you might not be anywhere near being financially independent. You might just be at the very beginning, and that's okay. Now, the point I wanted to make with going back to COVID is the big thing that reset did for us was that it forced us to reprioritize. And one thing that came out of the journey for me personally certainly was this idea that the vain pursuit of just our financial goals isn't just enough anymore. By that I mean, kind of feeling that it's when I become financially independent that I will be happy is no longer enough. What we began to see, and we started seeing this in our communities and in the people following our work, is that people start asking themselves, how can I be happy today? How can I appreciate all of this? How can I appreciate the nature around me? How can I appreciate my good health? How can I appreciate the relationships I have? How can I appreciate my neighbor or my friendships? How can I appreciate my spouse, my children, or my parents, or my siblings? How can I appreciate where I am in my finances right now? such that I'm not thinking, do you know what? It's when I get to financial independence or financial freedom that I will be happy. But instead, I'm actually okay where I am today. So back to this question, which is, how has this pursuit of financial independence evolved? My answer to that is that the way it's evolved is that it's made more of us begin to focus on how do we prioritize our joy today? How do we still have that goal, but realize that life is short and I can work towards that goal gradually, but still enjoy my life today? I can still experience joy. And this is where our first book, for those who've read our first book, Financial Joy, actually comes into the picture, because the idea around that book is the main message of the book is you can design a life that balances your pursuit for wealth with your necessity for well-being, your necessity for joy, your necessity for enjoying your life, your necessity for having purpose. So the big transition I've seen with financial independence and the people pursuing it is that we're now focusing on the small things, the small changes we can make, and how that then means that we are feeling happy right now rather than living in anxiety or living in this comparison culture of, oh, I've only got 3 months worth of savings, so therefore I'm not happy because I'm not where he is or where she is, and so on. Yeah, the key is in embracing where we are and understanding that where we are is good enough. In fact, for a lot of us, where we are is where we are meant to be, because we are ultimately on a journey. Because money is ultimately a journey from one place to another. And the real learning is, who do we become? How does our identity shift as we go from here, where we might have been living paycheck to paycheck, we might be in debt, we might be struggling, we might have difficulties or challenges with our mindset. How do we go from this person who maybe has just an employee mindset to somebody who over time has a wealth builder mindset and knows how to not just experience lifestyle creep as their income rises and so on, or maybe keeping up with other people? Yeah. So that's the first part of the question is, this is how I've seen this evolve. Now, financial independence still remains a goal for people. And in fact, jump in the comment section and let me know, is this still something you are pursuing and why? Let me know in the comment section, because I know for a fact that us pursuing this goal really shifted our behavior over time, shifted our relationship with money over time, shifted our habits and the way we looked at money, yeah, and shifted our identity, who we thought we were over time. Now, the next part of the question says, what does this new reality demand of people? So in a world where we have AI upheavals, we have various challenges, what does it demand of people? I would say what it demands of people is the need for us to focus on the small things that will make us actually create the financial lives we want without, and this is key, without losing ourselves on the journey. A lot of people don't talk about that, do they? Think about everyone you listen to online. Do they actually talk about the importance of remaining true to your values, remaining true to what matters, making sure you're not selling your soul or losing your soul on that journey? Not many people talk about that, but I think it matters so much, because money isn't just money or numbers in your bank account. Money is actually a spiritual thing, because money and wealth and all those various things, I actually believe from my own personal perspective that God gives us the ability to create wealth. Yeah, and it's our job to actually then steward that wealth, to steward that money or whatever that means to you. And by the way, wealth for me goes beyond money. It's not just about the number in the bank account. It's about your health. It's about your relationships. It's about your heritage. It's about your time, your ability to own your time. It's about you living a life of purpose. It's about peace in your life, that sense that you have peace. Even if you might have very little, you have that sense of peace. It's about that sense of progress that you might have in your life. Yeah. Now, all that said, Mary and I, my wife and I, took a lot of that body of work we've done so far with the first book, took the feedback from you guys. Our first book was what we call Financial Joy, was the reset. Financial Joy was there to help you to effectively shift your relationship with money. And over time, begin to work towards your financial goals. But for a lot of people, a lot of the feedback we got in addition was that for a lot of people, knowledge isn't enough. If you think about it, a lot of people know they shouldn't be in debt, but they're still in a lot of debt. A lot of people know that smoking can, result in quite negative impact on your body, but a lot of people are smoking. So there's so much more to money than just knowing stuff, more than literacy. Money then becomes about habits. And this is where we actually then wrote this second book, The Wealth Habit. And this here is the very first copy. We picked this up yesterday, and it's beautiful to actually see it in person, to think that this has actually come to life. But the Wealth Habit we wrote to help you move beyond just the knowledge of what you know, but to find the small changes that will make you rich, as I talked about earlier. Rich in life, not just rich in money. Rich without losing your soul on the journey. That's why we wrote this book. This book is a mindset and habit system that helps to make wealth building effortless, inevitable, and sustainable for life, particularly in the world we are heading into, in the world of AI upheavals, in the world where we might have future pandemics, in the world where we have lots of future uncertainty. How do you take the knowledge in a distracted world to turn that knowledge into ways that are inevitable for you to build financial security and build wealth, whatever that looks like for you in your personal life? This is why we wrote this book. So if this message sounds great to you, and we've often said that we believe very strongly that wealth isn't reserved for the privileged few, it's reserved for people like us, people who might be starting from the very beginning, who might feel like they're having difficulties in their life, people who don't come from money, generally speaking. If that sounds like you're that person, then this book is something you definitely want to be reading. I want to thank everybody who's pre-ordered a copy of The Wealth Habit already. It means so much to us. If even 5,000, in fact, we know that if we sold 5,000 of these books, we would become Sunday Times bestsellers, which is very, very important for getting this message out into the world, all over the world. This book so far has been translated into other languages, and I thank God for that. It currently has a translation for complex Chinese, and it has a translation for Italian. So the more you guys order The Wealth Habit and get the message out, the more we will get other translations and get this message globally all over the world. And this is accessible, by the way, from anywhere in the world. And we made sure that you can access it in other parts of the world, whether you're in the African continent, in Europe, whether you're in America, in Asia, in the Caribbean, and so on. We've made sure that you can access this copy from anywhere in the world. Okay, so I'll link to it below as well as above. There might be a QR code as well on the screen. So please feel free to check it out and order your copy if that resonates with you and speaks to you. Yeah. But beyond that, I hope you enjoyed watching today's video. I still think financial independence is a very, very important goal, particularly because I believe that one of the biggest challenges people will have in the future is people who rely on earned income, people who just think that I will keep wanting to get a job so that I can keep earning my way and stay sustainable. When in actual fact, as time progresses, as AI disrupts a lot of our lives, or as the world changes and becomes more complex over time, I think the people who over time develop the right habits, who shift their mindset, who move from that employee mindset to a wealth builder mindset. And by the way, you can have a wealth builder mindset while still being an employee. The key thing is to shift the mindset. And in the book, we cover 4 key mindsets that need to be unblocked. First is the employee mindset, the idea that I need to swap my time for money all the time. Second is the analysis paralysis mindset, which is that I need to keep researching, but I never ever take action. The third one is the scarcity mindset, which is the mindset that, you know what, there's only one pie in the world. If you take one piece of the pie, then you've taken that pie away from me, rather than we can have this abundance mindset and create more pies. And the fourth mindset is the overnight success mindset, which is where you get the get rich quick idea. When in actual fact, in the book, what we share is get rich inevitably. Okay, we want you to make sure it's guaranteed that you progress over time. And when I say rich, I'm not just talking about money, I'm talking about rich in life, in your health, in your finances, in your well-being, and so on. Yeah, so I hope that really makes sense. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope it resonated with you. Before you head off, I want you to check out this next video over here titled 10 Silent Wealth Destroyers in Your 30s and 40s. I think you're going to absolutely love it, whether you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and so on. head over and check it out. And by the way, if you enjoyed today's video, please subscribe to our channel, share this video with one other person on WhatsApp who you think is going to enjoy or get value from it. Thanks again for watching, guys, and as always, in all things, be thankful and seek joy.